What if your best design referrals came from people who have never hired you, never paid you a cent, and never even seen your portfolio? That's where most of my work comes from. You curious? Hey there, I'm Mark Des Cotes, and I founded Resourceful Designer to help graphic and web designers start, run, and grow their design businesses. And today I'm sharing the referral strategy that's brought me in more work than everything else I've ever done, combined. It costs nothing, it doesn't feel salesy, and you can start this week. Let's be honest about something first. We are designers. We can tweak our own websites, we can polish our own branding, and we can network till the cows come home, whatever that means. But nothing feels as good as a phone call from someone who says, "One of your clients told me I should talk to you." Somewhere between 80 and 90% of my design work comes from referrals, and I'm pretty sure you could admit the same for yours. I have never advertised. I've never been in the yellow pages, if you remember what those are. I've never done a banner ad, no newspaper ads, nothing online. Now, part of my local reputation came from the 15 years I spent at the print shop before going on my own, but that doesn't explain the clients that I've worked with across Canada, the United States, Australia, Ireland, the UK, Africa, and Hong Kong. Every single one of those came from a referral. So the real question is, how do you make referrals happen on purpose instead of just hoping they show up? Now, this strategy that I'm sharing, it works best when you focus on a niche. And I don't mean just picking one out of a hat. You can't wake up and say, well, today I'm going to be the designer for, I don't know, let's say the acupuncture industry. Especially if it's something you've never done and know nothing about it. That just gets you nowhere. Your niche has to be something you genuinely know. Maybe it's a hobby, an interest, a club, a community, something you're already part of. For me, it was podcasting. I got into podcasting in 2013 because I just loved it. I fell in love with the medium. And it wasn't because I wanted to design for podcasters. I had a podcast network about TV shows of all things, long before I started the Resourceful Designer podcast. Podcasting became my thing. I went to conferences, I hung out in the rooms where podcasters hung out, and that's where this strategy that I'm sharing starts. Now, here's the part that really surprised me because I just stumbled upon it. Now, I'm not telling you to work for free. If someone in your niche asks you to design something for free, run away. What I'm saying is the opposite. Offer something for free to someone who never asked. As designers, we are always learning. There's new fonts, there's new tools, there's fun tutorials you discover, new techniques. So instead of just doodling nonsense while you practice with all these things, design something real. That's what happened with Wayne and Troy, two podcasters I knew. They hosted the Packers Fan podcast, a show about the NFL's Green Bay Packers. It's a football team. Now, I didn't listen to their podcast. I'm not into football, but I knew they had it. And I knew that one of them had created the artwork for the show themselves. They will admit it themselves. If you look at the artwork, you can tell that they're not designers. So one day I was watching a Photoshop tutorial online. I don't really remember what it was for, but whatever it was, I decided I wanted to give it a try. So instead of downloading the demo files that the tutorial mentioned, I decided to apply the tutorial's technique and I created new artwork for Wayne and Troy's show. I sent it to them along with just a simple message. I told them that I was fooling around in Photoshop and I made this artwork. If they wanted to use it, they could. If not, no worries. No charge, no obligations. Well, they loved it and they decided to use it. Now, while listening to another podcast that I follow, the host happened to mention how he really disliked his show's current logo, which he had made himself, and he admitted how ugly it is. Hearing this, I took it upon myself to design a new one and surprise him with it. Now, I did the same thing for a few other podcasters I knew. I designed something without their knowledge and sent it to them. No strings attached. The only thing I did ask was that if they did end up using it, I didn't want them to tell anyone that I did it for free. And that's when the payback started. All these people ended up using the artwork I sent them, and they talked about it on their shows, and they mentioned that I had designed it for them. Not only that, but they started sharing my name at conferences and in online podcast communities. Anytime someone asked about podcast logos or podcast cover artworks or a website to do with a podcast, somebody would mention my name. Slowly, the podcast community started to see what I could do. And every time one of them heard someone needed design work, whose name do you think came up? Mine. And before I knew it, people that I had never heard of were sharing my name. And let me tell you, it's a wonderful feeling when a new client comes to you and says, oh, so-and-so told me to contact you, and you have no idea who that so-and-so that they're referring to is. That's amazing. Now, if you decide to try this, there's two things I want you to remember. First, your work has to be good. If what you give these people, if what I had given these podcasters had been mediocre, they may not have used it. And they certainly wouldn't have told anyone. So only hand over work that represents what you do well. Second, relationships matter more than the free file. I didn't scroll through a podcast directory and pick strangers at random. All the podcasters I did this for were people I already knew or had an acquaintance with. More specifically, they knew who I was. And that's how good niches work. Think about who you refer in your own life. If a mechanic fixes your car really well, but you never speak to them, you probably won't recommend them. My mechanic, Randy, who runs a greasy little garage downtown, he remembers my family when he used to fix my dad's car. He remembers my car. And if I run into him downtown or something, he'll stop and ask, oh, how's that thing that we fixed last time? And he'll remember. Because of that, he's the first and the only name I give anyone who asks, hey, do you know a good mechanic? Relationships do that. Now, the last piece is the easiest one, and most designers skip it. Ask. When you finish a project, set a reminder for a week or two later. I set mine when I send the invoice. As I send that invoice, I'll go onto my calendar and I'll go a couple of weeks ahead and set a reminder to contact them. Now, if the project was tied to an event, say a trade show, maybe a play or a conference, then I set the reminder for a week or two after the event instead. And then when the reminder does pop up, I send a short email. I ask how the event went or whether the project is working out the way they had hoped. I tell them that I enjoyed working with them, and I say, please get in touch when you have your next project. Not if, but when they have their next project. Then I finish with one line. In the meantime, feel free to refer me to anyone who could use my services. That email puts you back in their head right when their last project is off their plate. And the next time someone near them complains about their website or their marketing material or just inquires about getting something, your client will speak up instead of letting it pass. Do these sort of things consistently, and something strange starts to happen. You will get calls from people who were referred to you by names you don't even recognize. People you've never worked with, sending you clients because your name has become the name in that space. It doesn't happen overnight. It took me a couple of years of showing up before it turned into steady work. But it did turn into steady work, and it still brings me lots of clients today. So here's what I want you to do. Pick the community you already belong to. Go help someone in it this week. And please tell me in the comments which niche you're going after. If you want more strategies for running a design business that you actually enjoy, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay creative.